Cord. There we go. There we are.
That's
So
what
what I've done as part of my thing is, so I'll give you this example. This is kind of like a fairly hard ball. It's a double ball. It's actually meant for your spine, to go down your spine. But anything that's rather hard, not a tennis ball, like a lacrosse ball is good, or some sort of shape, like you have that prickly thing there, right? Yeah, that's good. That's good too. So yeah, guys, I can't stress this enough. He talked a lot, the doctor talked a lot about how it relates to posture, how it relates to low back, and the position of our body as it starts from the feet. And I've been playing with it now for about a week, and I'm seeing some pretty incredible. Like as I'm talking to you now, I'm stepping on this. So I'm going to show you kind of what it looks like here, right? So there's the ball, right? There's the ball, and I'm just stepping on it in all kinds of ways, like heel, mid, toe. And what my foot is doing is it's kind of bending around the ball, right? So this is the ball, my foot kind of bends. And so what it's doing is it's kind of mimicking how we walked before we had shoes, and the ground was uneven and there was rocks and there was a hill, and your ankle was like this, your foot was sometimes turned like this. And what you find is that your knee relaxes, your hip relaxes. Like it's amazing to see it follow its way up. Okay. So I've noticed a reduce in knee pain. I've noticed a drastic reduce in low back pain too. Not that I have a lot of it, but I do notice a difference, right? So I don't know, try it for this week, guys, if you can. Like just step on a ball with your feet. And this has nothing to do with the lesson I'm going to show you today, but it's just something that I think is important, because a lot of times the problem that we have stems from here, from the feet, for posture. Like if any of you ever know a good chiropractor, they almost always start with your feet, the good ones, and they try to understand how you're stepping and the way you're stepping. And because if your foot is like this, it changes the position of your hip, it changes, everything changes. So it's one of these things I can't stress enough. If you can do it before you work out or before you train or at the beginning of your day, whatever you want to call it, and just watch what happens, right? It really is, first of all, it feels great. And second of all, there's some real health benefits as it comes all the way up the body, okay? Something to think about, okay? Okay, everybody good? Good to get started? Something just to think about. Grab a knife if you have, guys. I need you to grab a knife. And then just place the knife on you. Yeah, place it somewhere. I got it. Yeah, place the knife kind of on you somehow, whatever you want to kind of place it, like a pocket or a back or wherever you want to put it. Miro, you got a knife? No. You got it? You got your knife? Awesome. Good. Okay. Awesome, guys. So put it on you, right? It's always nice to begin your knife training from the way that it's going to be, okay? From exactly the way it's going to be. So you'll be having it, let's say, in you, whether it's concealed or in your pocket, whatever you want, right? And quite simply, pull it out like the way you're going to use it. Like meaning, I don't know, like think of how you would use it on a daily basis, like a farmer. You know, he needs a knife, he's got to cut something, whatever, and put it away. I just kind of draw or pull your weapon in the way that you need it, not to defend yourself, just like you need it to do something around the house or around the farm, right? And it's good, like see how I've concealed it now? And it's good to know how to kind of remove this as well smoothly, right? So if my shirt's over, how one hand lifts, the other hand draws, right? So this is also good too, like how people, but then you can start to see the movement, right? And you want to try and make this kind of like as smooth as you can, right? Yeah, and put it in different parts of your body, right? How you would sit behind me. See behind me when I'm putting the knife behind me. For me, I have to turn a little bit and then it comes out, right? I can't just reach without turning. It's very difficult not to turn, right? Whereas in the front, no issues at all, right? I just lift, pull. If it's in my pocket, you know, that's a little bit different too. And also try the opposite place, like maybe in your other, like if I'm right-handed, so I put it on my right side, but try it in your left and see how your left works. And even how to grab it from the opposite hand. So in other words, my right hand to my left, right? Not that it's ideal, but just try it. Now place it on you, right? Walk, take a few steps, walk, and then pull your knife out without stopping and then put it away. So now there's no more standing still. You're constantly in motion. You're pulling out your knife, you're putting it away. You're moving, you're pulling out your knife, you're pulling it, putting it away. Remember, left hand, right hand, right hand, left hand, across the body, behind the back. Awesome. Good, guys. So the draw of a weapon should represent a big part of your training. Too much is given to this, this stuff. Believe me, you can learn so much about how people draw their weapon and drawing it smoothly. I would highly recommend this. Some of you may or may not know, I did a lot of pistol shooting competitions and not military stuff, more sport and tactical. That's more sport, not tactical. And everything is in that draw. The way you pull, load, clear, shoot, boom, 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 chain to it, like holster, like this is like, yeah, it has to be so, it's so important to your accuracy. The way you pull will dictate the way you can go forward. It's so important to work on this, but the trick is to work on it smooth. That's the trick, not fast, smooth, okay? Smooth becomes fast if you do it the right way. Okay, so I can't stress it enough. Study more at home how to pull the weapon. Right now, I saw all of you guys doing stuff like this, like I showed you, right? But watch me for a second now. Now I'm gonna kind of, I don't know if you can see it, I'm gonna kind of work with my hips. Okay, so when you work with your hips, it's like I pull one leg back. So if I have the knife tucked here, right? If I pull my leg back, it's easier to pull it out. Okay, it's smoother. Yeah. So what I want you to do is before you touch your knife, move your leg a little bit and look how much easier the knife will come to your hand. Yeah. You'll be able, it's like a whole body, right? Really interesting thing to do is stay straight, move a leg back, and then pull out your weapon. Awesome, guys. Good. Hold the knife in your hand. So stay nice and still. And what I want you to do is tense up your fist, then your forearm, your elbow, your bicep. So it's like a wave of tension comes here, right? So slowly tense it up. So the wave of tension comes up, and now wave of relaxation goes down. Wave of tension up with an inhale. A wave of tension, a wave of relaxation down. So you'll notice when a wave of tension comes up to me, okay? So when it comes up here, okay, I feel locked, okay? But when I send a wave of relaxation down, my arm is not locked to the weapon. It feels, my arm is more relaxed, of course, because it's a relaxation, right? So wave of tension comes up. This is how people that are scared of the weapon or the situation react. They're all tense. I relax my arm down. So I'm literally just holding the weapon. I'm not locked by the weapon. I'm holding the weapon, okay? And you can try switching hands. Most people that grab a weapon, grab it with the tension coming up to them. Like it's right away locks them. But you breathe out and you relax your arm back down. And that's how you want to hold the weapon. You don't want to be locked to it. You just want to have it here in your hand. Guys, let me explain so make sure you're all in the right spot. If you've ever watched a new car driver grab the wheel, like they grab a steering wheel of a car or motorcycle handlebars, right? It's always too tight. They grabbed it and it comes back. It comes back, right? Same with the chainsaw. If you ever watch somebody who was usually they're holding too tight. If you relax, the chainsaw works much better. If you relax, the car drives much better, right? So what you're doing is you're saying, this is what I don't want, the tension coming up. And what I do want is relaxation towards the weapon. So when I pick it up, I didn't tense myself, but I relaxed to the weapon. This is important. You relax to the weapon. So this drill is showing you what you don't want and then what you want. So this is good to, because before we use the knife, we should know how to hold it properly, right? Should really hold it proper, like amazing, right? So stay straight again, tense yourself up, wave of tension comes up, a wave of relaxation down. And that's really how we want to hold a weapon. Lift it up and check. It should feel good for you. You shouldn't be any anger associated with it. Try the other side. Again, inhale, tension comes up. Exhale, relaxation goes down. And what I find is the relaxation leads to this fullness in my hand. So my hand feels full, but not necessarily tense. And when I lift the knife up, it feels like I did this. It doesn't feel like anything bad happened, right? Okay, now the body. So tense up your feet, tense up your knees, tense up your hips, your stomach, your chest, so the body, not the arms. And then a wave of relaxation down. Relax your body, your stomach, your hips, your knees, your thighs. Again, tense up your feet, knees, thighs, hips, stomach, chest, and even neck, I guess, even straight up. And then relax the neck, the chest, the stomach, the hips, the knees, the feet. So just do that for a little bit. When people pick up a weapon and they're scared, usually everything tenses up. Feet straight up. And then a wave of relaxation down. You should feel full, guys. Your body should feel full. It's a good way of looking at it. Tense up the feet again. Knees, thighs, hips, stomach, chest, back, head. and then relax down. Head, chest, stomach, hips, knees and feet. Walk a little bit. See how your legs feel. Awesome. Good. Grab a knife in your hand now. So the body, you know what we want. We don't want any tension in the body. We don't want any tension in the arms. We want fullness. I mean, a weapon should, give you its fullness, its power, but not its worries, so to speak, right? You don't want that thing. So, and just lift the weapon up and I don't know, start to make any moves that you like. I mean, mine will be different than yours, but any moves that you like with the weapon and feel comfortable. What I really want you to be attentive of is your mind. See how you feel. Do you feel aggressive? Do you feel scared? Or, in other words, use the weapon in a way that I guess makes you happy, the way you want to express yourself. You're not trying to play me a song. I just want to hear you make noise, right? For me, I move the weapon around how I feel. Free. And as you're moving, think of your elbow, your shoulder, your wrist, right? For you, it's like, yeah, you're just moving it around. Oh, sorry, guys. Not trying to call me. You can switch hands too, right? The knife can start to kind of switch. Alberto, try not to look like a martial artist. If they see you like a martial artist, they'll shoot you. Don't do that. Look like a crazy chef, but don't look like a martial artist. Okay, sources now, some sources, right? So look at my shoulder. I start to move my shoulder, and then I didn't pay attention to the knife. I'm just moving my shoulder. I move my shoulder up, I move my shoulder forward, I move my shoulder back, and I try to relax and let my arm follow. So I'm trying to see, if I think about my shoulder, where does the knife go? Like, I'm not trying to make it, I'm moving my shoulder and seeing where the knife will go. Imagine somebody push you didn't expect. Like, I'm holding a knife and somebody from the back pushed me, or from the front pushed me, right? So just imagine that somebody push your shoulder forward, push your shoulder back, push your shoulder to the side, lifted your shoulder, right? Just think of the shoulder and the source, right? So that's where it starts now, the shoulder. So why are you doing this, guys? Because from time to time, if you push somebody with a knife, I'm just saying, if you need to do something like this, you should know where it ends up. Okay. Do you know how many people I saw knee somebody in the groin and then get headbutted in the face? They never thought. They knew, but they never actually thought what happens when you do that, right? When you push somebody in the shoulder, where does the knife go? It goes back, right? It's just the way it works. So In other words, maybe tomorrow the person comes, if you push them, right, where is that knife going to go? What direction is it going to be, right? It was like boom, right? Boom, right? Same thing with gun. You see person gun defense, and they do this knife, and then the gun is pointing where now? To a crowd of people. They never thought, where am I going to point the gun? If it's loaded, it's not at me, but where are you pointing it? It's just as dangerous over there as it was to you. They never think like that, right? You have to think like, so if I'm pushing, where is the knife ending up? And it's just good. If somebody pushes down, it ends up here. If somebody pushes across it, if someone pushes this way, it ends up here. If somebody pushes forward, it's forward. If somebody pushes back, it's back, right? Good. Elbows to your side. Elbows to your side. So imagine you're tied up, right? The elbows have to stay on the body, right? And just start to kind of move your knife around. Yeah. Yeah. You can take a few steps, I mean, but really tight spaces, right? So the elbows are towards the body. Yeah. Yeah, study how to pass the knife around, move it around. There's different ways of handing the knife one to the other. Try reach behind, try reach below, right? So a good thing to think about, if because I do this in class, I'll say one person grab the person in a bear hug around the arms. You have the knife, the other person at top, and you have to figure out how you're going to work with the knife when somebody holds your arms. What can you do? Obviously, you can get here in your legs. Like just say, how can I pass the knife? Which way can I use the knife? Right? Just check for now, like for yourself. If you can't open your elbows, what can you do with the knife? Which way can you go? How can you go? How high can you reach? You know, how far back? Yeah. Awesome. Now the knife starts to trace the body. Okay, so very close to the whole body, and try to kind of, yeah, let it go all around your body, under your arms. Try to make the knife travel as close as you can to yourself. Yeah, under your legs, behind your back. Okay, stop for a sec, guys. So stay nice and straight. Okay, don't move. So first, don't move your body whatsoever. Just move the knife around your body. That's it. Your body stays pretty still and you're cutting all around, okay? Around your head, as close as you can comfortably bring the weapon to your body. And then as you get more comfortable, okay, as you get more comfortable, start to kind of move your body, but it's not to any connection with the knife. It's like your body wants to move and your knife wants to stay very close. Okay, I have this problem, when I go shopping with my wife. So she wants to look around, and I just want to sit down somewhere. So it's this constant battle. I look for somewhere to sit. She looks to shop. It's like this knife wants to stay close, but my body wants to kind of move, right? So they're not. I'm not timing it. I'm not kind of. I'm just. It's like I want to do two things at once. I want my body to kind of move, and I want to take the weapon very close to my body. And the softness should come to your body, right? Because it's a knife. You can't be tense with the knife close to you. You have to kind of relax the body a little bit. Don't forget your legs, around your legs. Okay, guys, good. Okay, so you're going to do that again. It's something that you need to do often. So it's very easy for this stuff to become, I don't know, where there's so much freedom. It's like that you can start to lose sight of what you're trying to accomplish. What I want you to do is when the knife comes towards my body, that it gently touches, okay? And when it touches, so let's say I'm moving, when my hand and body touch, now they're connected and I can turn it any way I want. So as soon as the knife touches me here, when I turn my body, the knife turns. I'm not cutting. I'm not doing this. As soon as it touches here, my hips, it's 1 second. Like you have the stick, right? As soon as the stick touches my body, like my body throws it. It's like that, bang. I didn't go like this. As soon as it touches my body, it's like a fulcrum. It hits the point, buck. So it's not like I'm throwing the stick. As soon as it touches my hand, I have a lever, okay? I have to pull the lever. So as soon as let's say it touched here, I go with my body, right? As soon as it touches here, the body throws the knife. As soon as it touches the chest, it throws the knife. Like it direct, exactly. So as it touches you now, you completely throw the knife or cut that from the body. Like it's from the body, it comes, right? As soon as it touches my bum, right? Boom. The bum goes back and sends the knife forward. So it's like, so it moves around your body. As soon as it touches, bang, it explodes. Boom. What I like about this, guys, you stop using your shoulders too much, okay? You start working with the body. The body starts to come, right? You teach yourself how to work from the body. Okay? Try this one, guys. Try this one. See if it works for you. Watch, listen. As soon as it hits my body, listen. As soon as it hits here, I throw it back. As soon as it hits here, I throw it back. So it's like boom, 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 boom. It's like a ping pong, goes back and forth from the body, Very hard to see, guys, very hard to defend, very hard to, nobody studied this kind of use of the weapon. So it's really hard to defend against this, right? It's really unusual use of how was it, guys? Talk to me. How was it? How does that feel? How did it feel? Did you feel it coming off the body? No, yes, nah.
It's difficult to make it come off the body.
But think of it. Yeah, go ahead. Sorry.
Yeah, it's difficult, and it's also interesting that it makes you, it forces you to move differently, which is good.
Yes. Because the most important thing with the knife is you study how to get closer and closer and more comfortable, right? Think of a sports car, okay? There's so much power. And when you go into a turn, it's so scary, but you know you have to relax and you have to be comfortable with the vehicle because it will slide, it will move, and you have to be comfortable with it, right? The closer the knife comes to you, it's like a corner when the car, when you're turning, it's a little out of control, but for sure you can't panic. Otherwise, you're not going to make that corner, right? Motorcycle for me was the epitome. You know, with a motorcycle, you find yourself in some interesting situations, and there is no way that tension is good right now. No way. It's an absolute disaster. So it's funny to see why so many people have accidents in their first year of motorcycle riding, because they picked the bike too fast and they didn't realize how to relax, right? Because when your back tire on a motorcycle goes, for you to get that back is very challenging. You have to feel the road. You have to feel what's happening, right? The same when the knife comes close to you, you need to feel what your body's doing, right? You need to feel like, and it's the same thing with a stab comes, right? Like right now, I'm bringing the knife to myself. But what if somebody else had this knife and stabbing towards me? It's the same move. So it's almost like somebody's attacking you. You're sending the knife towards you, right? Super interesting to see how your body kind of takes it, right? So, and I'm using it, right? You're using it. It comes here and I give it back. It comes here and I give it back. So the knife comes here and I give it back, right? So the closer and closer the knife gets, the more and more relaxed you have to be, okay? Try it one more time. Try it just a minute.
You kind of twist your hips with your body.
It can be hips, it can be ankles, can be your head. You can twist from any position, but rotate. As soon as you feel contact, just rotate the body, rotate. And the knife comes. The knife comes back towards the person.
All right.
Right? Try it. Just a couple of minutes, guys. Let me watch you. Try it because it's so important to practice this. It's so important. Get close, get comfortable, and then move from the body, not from the head or from, just get close and get comfortable. And then see what happens. You have to feel this stuff. It's not going to generate without thought, without feeling. Awesome, guys. Okay, now kind of pass the knife from one hand to the other, okay? So it doesn't have to be a far pass, but just a short pass, right? Just, it doesn't matter. It can be at any height, any grip position. Just try to, when you grab the knife, not to too much tension. Just grab the knife just enough to catch it, but not more, right? Guys, try this for a second. So I have reverse grip, right? And I try to catch it the right way, and then reverse grip. So I'm trying to pass or switch my hand placement in the knife, right? The same hand. So here, and I want to grab it reverse, not like that. Like this, like that, like this, like that. Yeah. Sometimes you have the right, but the wrong grip. Now you go across. So it's reverse grip in this hand, but I need it regular grip here. And then reverse grip in the other hand, regular grip here. And just pass it from one hand to the other, but it has to be in the reverse grip, opposite of what you have in the other hand. And try to move around a little bit. Don't stay in the same spot. Awesome, guys. Good. Come close for a second. Please don't measure your success of this drill by how many times you don't drop it. Okay. I want you to measure success by when you did get the knife, did you get to it with confidence, or did you get to it like you're surprised when you got it? Like, in other words, I did this and I'm like, wow, I got it. That's not what you want. Like, as I'm doing this drill, right? I'm looking that every time my hand went out, it said, I got it. I got this. Like, there's no issue whatsoever. And then I start taking my eyes off it. Like, I'm not looking at it at all now, right? So I'm trying to see. And every time my hand touches the knife, it's like, yeah, I got it. No problem. Like, I'm looking for confidence. Every time I'm dealing, I got this. Don't measure it by how many times you didn't drop it. I mean, that's not a good measure. Try to measure like that when you did get the knife, you felt good, like it was confident, like, yeah, I got this. And if you drop it, who cares? I don't want you to get upset with that. For you, it's like passing the knife, but it's like confidence. Yeah, I got it. I got this. And you start to build confidence that every time you touch the knife, it's you got it. Every time you touch the steering wheel, you got it. You're just not worried about it. Okay, let's go. Try it. Move it around and kind of build more confidence when you got the, and if you feel good, don't look at the knife. Just look somewhere else. Remember, different grips, left and right. Awesome. Hold the knife good and comfortable. Doesn't matter how you want to hold it, right? Hold it good and tight and start to punch with your other hand. That's it. So you hold your weapon, but don't use it. Just punch with your other hand. I don't care how you want to punch, but just punch. Yeah. And maybe like elbow, right? Whatever you like. Elbow punch, kind of kick a little bit too, whatever you like. Kicking, knee, headbutt, anything but disarm, right? Anything but disarm. Just hold the tension though, like hold it good, right? And you can switch arms if it gets tight, right? But you don't use the weapon at all. You just have it with you. Awesome. So the reason you're doing this, you're going to do it again, but the reason you're doing this is that when people grab a weapon, they forget that anything else is around. They might have a good kick, a good punch, or maybe another weapon. They forget about it all. That's all they can see. That's all they think about is this. And you need to train yourself to remember this is one option. You have other options depending on what you want. So in other words, you're telling the weapon, I'm in control. I'm in control. Guys, the same like you train a dog. It's the exact same. You bring a treat, you say sit, stay, and then you give him a treat. You're telling the dog who's in control. Okay. This like an out of control dog. You gotta always reward yourself. It's in my control, not the weapon's control. So as you start to use your other martial arts skills, you hold this, but you'd say you only can use if I tell you to. And right now you're saying no. Okay. You're saying no. So have that. Okay. Yeah, there's your dog there. I see him. He's got to figure it out, Alberto. He's got the secret.
They are totally in control. They
He's in
control
total.
me.
He's controlling you. One of my favorite drills at the Fight Club when we were training was wrestling with the knife, but nobody using it. So you had to hold on to your knife and wrestle, but without using it. Okay. And then I would throw in the caveat that you can use your knife if your partner you're working with was being stupid. Interesting to see the definition of stupid. But it's funny because that's what happens. People only pull out weapons when you do something really, really wrong. Whew. Okay, guys, come for a second. How was that? Was the weapon in your control, or could you end up thinking you wanted to use it?
Yeah, pretty much. Yeah, I think I got in control.
So I knew a couple of guys in the Toronto ETF. So these guys were emergency task force. Every city has them, right? You know, guys that respond to like more serious stuff like gun crimes and stuff. And I asked the person after they retired at their retirement party about the job and, you know, some stuff. And he looked at me, he goes, Emmanuel, he goes, 90% of my life, I would be ready, stand down. Don't do anything. Stand down means don't do anything. He goes, every time I went to work, I was ready, don't do nothing.
Don't do
I was
nothing.
ready, don't do nothing. Go home. I show up, and the amount of times I actually had to do something was like 0.00, like much less. He goes, so I have the weapons, but I did nothing. So I was better for me to learn how to do nothing with my weapons than it was to do something with them. So a lot of people carry their weapon, right? And as soon as there's a problem, right away they pull this out. Okay. And it made the situation really bad. Okay.
Sure. Yeah,
So you
right.
want to make sure that you can have a weapon, but it's not a burden. You don't feel like you have to touch this at all. Okay.
Yeah.
And even when I'm faced with somebody with a weapon, whether it's a gun, it's happened twice to me, and with a knife as well, that you realize that it's not the weapon. You see the weapon, but it's not the weapon. It's the person. Talk to the person.
Sure.
Literally talk to the person. Guys, I've done it. I'm like, okay, guys, relax. Don't worry. And I would go like this, and I would listen. I'm really here to help you, and then I would go back, and it was like, became two people. Here's the person that he sees, and here's someone. Listen, man, you're overreacting. Okay, calm down a little bit. Like it's like you have to know that when bad things happen, it's about people. You have to understand people. Don't get like, this is nothing. It's just the vehicle they chose. You have to calm the person down. Okay.
Yeah.
But it's very instinctive when somebody pulls a weapon for you to pull the weapon. And now you have a whole different situation, right?
Yeah, a different situation.
Please, guys, in your training, understand to build into your training, not just knife skills, but knife understanding and when to use it, when not to use it. It becomes very interesting in training to play with it, which I like for sure. I enjoy that. But you also need to know restraint, when and when not to touch it, when not to use it. Okay. Let's say I'll give you a different scenario. Let's say some crazy person comes stabbing at you, and you manage to take the knife away. Now what? Like, so in other words, if you take the knife away and you stab them, it's like you stabbed them. They're never going to tell you did it. They're going to, you now have the knife. Now you're responsible. So this is what I want to say. So if I end up taking a weapon, whether it's a gun, whether it's a knife, okay, now I'm responsible. Just because you did it doesn't mean I can do it. Doesn't mean, because so if I take the knife, I have to know what I can do with it. Hit you, that's okay. Slap you, yeah, that's okay. Knee you, punch you, sure, that's okay. But maybe you decided you want to kill me, but I didn't decide to kill you. That's not my decision. You see the difference, guys? You have to be able to live with yourself. This is so important with this stuff. And build it into your training. Before you get to that situation, you've trained a little bit with understanding these ideas and these principles, okay? How does that sound, guys? Talk to me. I don't mean to lecture too much, but talk to me about knife and weapons is very, it's very personal, guys. Very personal. And you have to understand, like, I know for myself, okay, I've been faced with it, and even people wanting to hurt you. And when I took it or when I got it away, I never wanted to do this back. Some people, they think like this. I don't, right? I want to be able to take the weapon, make a good decision. In other words, I don't want to throw it away because I got it. It took so hard to get it, right? I don't want to throw it away, but I don't want to use it. So I want to know, what can I do with it? What can I do? Well, I have other things. I have other things that I can do, right? Because in my training, I've practiced them. But if my training, the only thing is take the knife and stab you, then that's what I'm going to do. I don't just want to have that, right? So I spent a lot of time working with the side of the knife. I spent a lot of time working with the butt end of the knife. I spent a lot less time working like this. A lot less time. I don't need that kind of stuff. Yes, Jaker.
I think sometimes if somebody gets the knife and then they panic and then they have a bad reaction and then they come through and they stab the guy. But if you do it your way where you're kind of relaxed, you know you don't want to kill the guy. Because now you're facing a whole different kettle of fish.
Guys, I never want to portray myself as a guru in the martial art world. There's enough out there. You don't need an extra one like me. What I want you to do is, I want you to think about dangerous stuff like riding a motorcycle, rock climbing. Okay, think about parachuting. Like, think about these dangerous things and ask yourself, how do they handle that? And guess what they tell you? Everything I'm just telling you right now. But believe me, it's that you're rock climbing and you're not scared. That's crazy. It's nothing wrong with being scared, but you got to be able to dial that shit real back. You're falling. Like, you can't, like, fear comes to a man when you're climbing. There's no doubt, but you got to be able to dial it back. You can't stay there. there is no doubt that fear comes to you when a knife. I got it, but you got to dial that
Yeah.
back if you have any hope of surviving. Okay.
Yeah.
That situation, it's the same at a
Know how to
triage.
deal with fear, right?
Talk to a paramedic. Talk to firefighters. When the chaos is on, you've got to find a way to relax. There's no other way. You're gonna. So we don't want to be fear based. We want to be knowledge and principle based. We don't want to die with just fear. We don't be over consumed with fear. We want to be able to bring fear down to a place where we can still operate. Because I can't change fear, guys. Things scary. Some things are just scary. That's just how it is, right? But we got to be able to deal with it. We got to be able to bring it to a place where we can manage it, right? Eric, did you have a question?
Yeah,
Eric?
I did a
Oh,
lot of rock
yeah,
climbing,
sure.
parachuting, and kayaking in the creeks. And yeah, I kind of agree with you, but I want to point out a big difference between what you're saying and between these sports. Is that these sports, especially the ones that you mentioned, then you're responsible just for yourself, but you're not responsible for the guy across you.
No, I get it. No, but I'm talking about fear in general, right? Just fear as it comes to you, right?
Yeah, but I really liked what you said about the what next, because I think you were right in the way that we all think about being scared of the knife and thinking about, okay, I'll protect you, I'll take your knife away, I'll take your gun away, and then I'll kill you afterwards. I think that's good. At least for me, it's like taking the weapon with all the anger that it carries instead of taking yeah.
The funniest thing I ever did, guys, when I took a gun off a guy, I emptied out the mag, and I pulled a bullet out and I threw it at him. I said, okay, now I shot you. Are we okay? And he just, funniest thing I ever did, I swear, because I was very comfortable with the gun. I was scared as shit, but I didn't know what to do. I'm not going to shoot the guy, and I want to take the clip out so he can't shoot back if he ever gets it back from me. So then I just took a bullet out and I said, oh, I can throw it. I just threw it at the guy. I said, I can do that. I can throw. I'm a baseball player. I can throw it at you. I said, it hit you. It was so funny. Anyway, that's different times. So I want you guys to be able to play with this stuff, but also as you're doing it, ask yourself, is this something like, what can I do, right? I mean, I was taught Sistema on military guys, and they were very comfortable with the concept of maybe killing somebody. I'm not okay with that. That's not my world. My world is I gotta go to work. That's my world, okay? So I need to be able to survive in my world. And I don't know about where you guys live, but in Toronto, the biggest problems we have if you're gonna get in trouble is usually mental illness. It's usually stress and mental illness. So these people are sick. I'm serious. So you have to be compassionate, even though they've lost their mind in a second. You still have to be understanding. Anxiety here in Toronto, like crazy. Everybody's been so they're doing things because they're not themselves.
Mhm.
I bet you if you relax. So we want to be able to take a knife or take somebody's lost their mind for a moment, that we can say sorry after. Because you might find out afterwards that it was just somebody who had a bad day. And I'm not saying it's easy, but I'm saying we still, as professionals, have to consider those things, right? I didn't make those rules up, guys. These are morals that I hope you all have, right? That we just say to ourselves, come on, people can have a bad day. I hope the moment I have a bad day, somebody didn't say I have to die, right? That maybe they have some more skills than that, right? So this is what we hope so. And also the knife is just, it's an interesting tool. It's much like alcohol. It adds fuel to a fire. Like if a person's a little upset, they're really upset. If they grab a knife, it makes the situation like go one up. Just quickly before we go, the one situation I remember the most was I was working as a doorman in Toronto, and we was at the end of the night. It was like 1 a.m, and at that time everything's closed and alcohol has to come off the table. You're not allowed to have alcohol on the table. So at the bar I was working, it was quite big, and there was police officers outside. And at 1 o'clock, they came in because they want to check that there's no alcohol on the tables. It's got to be no alcohol on the tables, right? So there was a young kid, and we had told him, you got to finish your beer. We got to, the police are going to come at 1 o'clock and you can't have beer there. He didn't say anything. He acknowledged. Police come and they saw the beer there. He says, listen, you can't have the beer there. So the cop just told him and turned to look somewhere else. A stupid kid put his hand on the cop's gun.
Fuck.
Yeah, it went from 0. So you're talking the end of the night, guys. Everything was winding down. The energy went from 10 down to like 1 out of 10. Everybody, the lights were on. Everybody was leaving, getting their coats on. And all of a sudden, some kid put his hand on a cop's gun. It went from zero to like 1,000 in 1 second.
1,000.
Before you know it, 2 cops on top of the guy, and nobody knew what happened. He's freaking out.
Fuck.
And as the cops got the kid on the ground, I'm looking at the kid and I said, "So what was the plan?" That's why I bend down. I look at the kid as he's got. What was the plan? The plan was to take the cop's gun. Like what? There was no plan. But it went from 0. It went from 0 to 10 in 1 second. So in other words, the gun added fuel to a fire that was about to be out. It just so a knife, alcohol, it just blows up situations, right?
Yeah.
You have to know that when you're dealing with it, okay? So
Okay.
anyway, guys, it's too much. It got so deep. I didn't mean it to
Oh,
be
so
such a
good,
deep
so
class.
good.
I'm sorry, guys, but
Thank you for
don't
sharing.
yeah, it's so when I teach this stuff, there's a part of me that loves the creative aspect, but then there's this other part of me that doesn't want you to lose sight of this practical of where things go wrong and how they go right. Like if somebody can sit there and tell me when you're taking a turn on a motorcycle, if you don't relax, you're going to lose the edge and you're going to fall down. You'll probably end up killing yourself or severely hurting yourself. It's the exact same with the knife. There's so many commonalities, right? There's so many. And if you really want an interesting documentary, just before you go, I want you to listen to 60 Minutes. You guys know what 60 Minutes is? It's an American show. It's called 60 Minutes.
Show, yeah.
And they featured the guy that has the world record in freestyle rock climbing. He's actually died now. He fell. But at the time he was alive. And him and his coach explained what goes on in his mind when he's rock climbing. And it was
Like no ropes at all.
None. It was all Systema, guys. Relaxing. Everything I'm showing you. It works for so many other scary situations because take away the knife, it's just a scary situation. That's all that is, just a scary situation. Okay, guys.
Yeah, right.
I'll see you Wednesday.
Thank you. See you. Thanks a lot.
Bye, everybody.
Bye.
Bye, everybody.
For sharing. Nice day.
You're welcome. Bye, everybody.
Tem que botar para carregar isso aqui, ó. Desce aqui, eu não sei se tá aqui. Aqui não tá. Ai. Não tá em cima? Aí, não, aqui embaixo eu não vi até agora. Até agora não tá aqui. Deixa eu ver isso aqui também não. Mochila, né? Vou levar ele aí. Zero. Esse aqui é do celular, né? Tal do celular ali.
Tá, que eu tenho que fazer minha aulinha. E ainda tem uma coisa aqui, ó. Tem alguém aqui, ó. O que é isso aqui? Acho que tu não desligou, encerrar. Sério,